I've actually started thinking about pastoral care as care in general, because I think there's congregational care, there's pastoral care. I think the difference, pastoral care is administered or offered by a pastor. I think it's also important for the church to recognize that the church members also can care for each other. So I'll say this about pastoral care. I think it must be at the center of everything that we're doing in the church, whether that is justice or hospitality or hospital visits or praying, our own private prayer time when we're praying for the church. I think that it looks like tending. I think it looks like listening to stories, deep listening, remembering people's stories and their names. I think it's also connecting those stories to the stories that we love, that we find in the Bible. Because there is a difference between just being nice or just going for coffee with someone and pastoral care. Pastoral care is going to bring in the themes. It's going to bring in the stories of faith. It's going to ask questions that invite people to think about how their story ties to the larger narrative of God and God's people. It's going to invite a person to think about this irresistible grace that I brought up. It's going to invite us to think about God's lavish love, the sense that we are never alone, the notion that when we cannot carry faith for ourselves or hope for ourselves, we have a community of faith that rallies around us. We have a pastor that rallies for us and prays for us. We have members who sit on either side of the pews with us and carry faith and hope when we can't do it for ourselves. So I think that's what a pastor does. I think because we have been trained, because we spend ideally time in prayer and in study of the Word every week, we're able to bring perhaps a more concentrated, maybe a slightly more intense dose of that. But I also believe and believe that followers of Jesus need to understand that we're called to do that for one another, whether we are ordained pastors or not, that we care for and tend for one another as well as the pastor.